welcome to the Zadzooks Happy Hour, a podcast providing commentary on the latest in film, TV, games, and comics. My name is Todd Stoll, and I'm joined by 25-year veteran reporter covering pop culture, video games, and technology for the Washington Times, Joseph Zadkowski. Happy New Year.
Boy, I love that polka music. Are you done being sick now?
Nah, I mean, I'm fine.
Everybody's got it.
Yeah, it won't go away. It's like
Except me.
It's like that. What is that song? Did you have to let it linger?
Cranberries?
Yeah.
Nice.
I hate that song, by the way.
I didn't bring it up.
I know. Yeah.
So
I've watched a lot of movies.
yeah, me too. So how about that Star Wars? Did you see it?
I did.
You're not necessarily a Star Wars fan either.
I'm not necessarily a Star Wars fan. I found it very enjoyable to watch. Visually, it was fantastic, beautiful. The end planet with the, I guess, was it like salt covered or something?
Yeah, with the red soil underneath.
Soil was very cool.
Yeah.
My only criticism is at times it seemed like the movie was going to end and then it just kept going.
Right.
Like I thought they were like wrapping it up. And I think you sort of said the same thing where you thought the major battle kind of at the end between, spoiler alert, Luke Skywalker.
Well, if you haven't seen the movie by now,
yeah, you're
give it up.
Between Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren, you'd sort of said you thought it was going to stop before then, and that was how the next movie was going to open.
Right.
And then there was another part where when Rey and Kylo Ren are battling and then everything goes awry, they could have ended it there too.
Right.
So it seemed, I don't know, it seemed
long.
It seemed a little long-winded.
Right. It was long for my bladder.
I bet.
That was I really like watching over 2-hour long movies. I think it's awesome when they do that because you get your bang for the buck.
Absolutely.
In these days, but
when you have to
train.
But when you're going
to train for that.
Yeah, but you're going to a place where you're eating, right?
I wasn't eating. You got to train for that.
That's why you get a
normal
diaper.
Liquid. Yeah, great.
I mean, just like those idiots in Times Square for New Year's.
Right.
They all
Wear
wore
a diaper.
diapers.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to settle in.
I may need to go to that route. So
think about it. Like Avatar, what is it? 2, 3, 4, and 5? They're all going to be 3-hour movies.
Right. Right. I don't think I could.
I can't do a 3-hour movie. Not in the theaters. I need to be able to have an intermission.
I watched Blade Runner 2049.
How was that?
It's a massive movie.
How long was it?
245.
Yeah. Well, the first one's pretty long too.
Yeah, and I watched that too.
Yeah. Did it?
I'm gonna let you watch it.
Okay.
You tell me.
But I mean, like, did you feel like going back and watching the first one was helpful?
The first one was fantastic.
I know.
So I watched the first one first, right? Duh. And then I jumped right to the second one.
But if you only say you hadn't seen the first one in years, and then you went and watched the second one, would it have made sense? Or would it have made sense if you had never seen the first one?
Not really, because first of all, like nobody would know who Deckard is.
Right.
Right. So you'd have no background really on what the heck he was doing.
Right. It's a great movie.
And then number two, you would have nothing to compare it to, meaning the director really worked on capturing that vibe that they got, that cyberpunk vibe from the first movie.
Yeah.
And he did a really good job at that. So you tell me. That's next week.
Well, I will say
But you're going to have to carve out 3 hours, Ace.
I was slightly surprised that there wasn't some sort of Harrison Ford Easter egg in Star Wars.
He didn't come back as a Force ghost or something.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else did. Seems like everybody's got the Force now.
So I got 3 gripes. I thought it was a pretty good film. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay, so in the grand scheme of things, people are now saying that you can't touch 4, 5, and 6. Those are like cinematic gold. They are on a standard that no one can have. Do you feel the same way?
No.
Okay.
No.
So as a very dedicated Star Wars fan, do you feel like this was a letdown to you?
It was not a letdown to me. It was exciting. It was enjoyable. There was a lot of good stuff in it. A lot of great stuff in it.
I thought that...
And let's be serious. Go back and watch A New Hope sometime. I mean, they had no idea what they were doing. They were flip-flopping all over the place in that movie.
Well, interestingly, I read something that they said that at least the first 3 movies, Lucas had already pretty much outlined the entire arc.
Right.
And in this one, they're writing per movie.
Right.
So whatever happened in this one, now J.J. Abrams has to write around it for the...
Okay, but to be on, let's think about the fact that a major actress passed away.
Right.
They might have had this outlined where they needed to go.
Thrown it away anyway.
Right. So that wasn't going to help. So, a couple things. Snoke. What a waste of a character.
Do you think that's it?
I've tried. I've watched every idiot on YouTube speculate on what's going on. And the problem I have is it's so clearly defined of what he looks like when he dies as opposed to what Luke was doing when he was projecting himself,
right.
Force projecting himself.
Right.
It's clearly different, okay? So either Snoke has such power that he can literally, clone himself to be somewhere.
Right.
Or they just wasted the character. Because if you watch, he's cut in half. You can see the blade,
lightsaber.
The lightsaber going through. You can see when Hux walks in later, he falls. Half of his body is like on the ground,
right,
with his tongue hanging out.
Right.
There's no other option there. Do you think that?
Unless he's like a manifestation of the Empire,
right,
and the Force within it.
There's got to be something, you would think, right? Because he was such a big character in the first.
Or he comes back as a ghost,
right? Which is obviously going to happen.
Which would be interesting to have, like a Force
battle,
projected
between
ghost.
Force ghosts.
Yes, it's gonna be everyone battling, and then it's gonna be Ghost Yoda.
Sure. Which was a highlight of the movie, by the way.
Well, you pointed out that it was the original puppet.
Yeah.
It wasn't the CGI version, which was
cool.
Which was all right.
Yeah.
A lot of subtle throwbacks, which I thought was.
If you've played, which you never got to, if you played Battlefront 2, there's a Luke Skywalker level in the story campaign.
Mm-hmm.
He finds a compass. That compass is in the movie. He picks up a compass in his room.
Did you hear that they had to reshoot the last scene? I read something that Mark Hamill came out and said that I guess when they had the script before the Force Awakens came out, and that I guess when Rey found him, there was supposed to be like floating boulders,
floating rocks, right.
And
which made no sense.
Which made no sense.
Suppress the Force.
Yes. So they had to go back and reshoot that just before it came out.
So that was cool. Captain Phasma, another wasted character.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
Like as in Boba Fett.
Right. Wasn't that the whole point?
So you think it was actually an homage to wasting Boba Fett?
Yeah, I do. I really do. But you put in like Gwendoline from Game of Thrones,
right,
who is a fantastic actress.
Yeah, you could have stuck any schlub in there.
Now,
didn't have to be anybody.
Granted, she did survive the trash compactor.
Okay.
And she is in armor.
Right.
I mean, granted, she was part of an explosion.
So you think she's coming back too?
I got to believe that character survives.
Right.
That's the only... I mean, but then again, if she survived... then where the hell is Han Solo? I know he was thrown off and like dropped into an explosion, but if she survives, clearly he's somewhere. He's floating around somewhere.
Right. Speaking of floating around, did you like the Mary Poppins moment?
No.
Or was that not?
No.
Kind of threw people in the audience too when I was watching it.
I
mean, like, what the hell?
Well, I mean, it was Princess Leia manifesting the Force.
Sure, but it was just kind of weird. It was cool, weird.
Yeah.
She was kind of floating around with her hand in the air.
It was sort of like Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm Mary Poppins,
that
y'all.
Was funny.
I know this was just weird. And then of course she has the Force, but yet somehow when she comes back inside, she's in a coma for days.
Right. And when she sees Luke, she doesn't realize there's something going on.
Yeah, she has no idea that he's not really there.
Right? Because I didn't get any impression that she was onto the trick.
Because
the dice.
I know. But also, how the hell did he manifest himself to give a physical object to someone?
But the dice disappear.
Oh, I guess I missed
So
that.
what does that
There
mean?
was so much stuff going on. That battle scene at the end was badass.
Yeah.
I mean, that really was cool to watch. Just really awesome. But, I mean, then you watch, and it's like, what, 15 people left on the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
And that's
the
it?
entire rebellion.
And yet, somehow, they're supposed to wrap this up in one more episode?
So
your theory, I think, is good. What's your theory?
So that Leia's funeral is the beginning of the next movie, and that Leia, all the Outer Rim rebellion folks come to the funeral, and that sets the tone for some sort of battle. Something happens.
There's one character that I found no point in.
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro's character.
Yeah. I understand.
That
total
whole
waste.
That whole arc of needing to go to this casino planet.
Oh, I completely agree. That was just a waste
unnecessary.
of time.
They looked for something to put John Boyega in.
Yeah.
With a character that then all of a sudden they have a
romance going,
love interest.
Yeah.
Which is odd since you would think naturally.
I thought he was attracted to Rey.
Well, I thought it was mutual.
Right.
So because then they sort of show her
attracted to Poe.
No, but they show him and he's consoling her, and the look on her face is sort of like, oh. I know. How the hell are they going to wrap this up in 2.5 hours?
I don't know. 3 hours.
Was it going to be like Lando Calrissian comes in and he's like, "Hey Finn, I'm your dad," and like, here we go, like let's blow some stuff up?
I don't know, but we'll find out.
It's got to start off as a funeral.
We'll see the Han Solo movie in May.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works. It's getting bad press, and it hasn't even got a trailer yet.
They're doing reshoots again.
Yeah.
Apparently, the lead guy...
Not so good.
Not so good.
I told him to go with the Han Solo dude, the guy who looks exactly like Han Solo and sounds like him, by the way. That would have been... And he has acting chops because he was in a movie with Harrison Ford.
But I will say this. I think for you as a Star Wars fan, I would feel... I would be calmed by the fact that Ron Howard doesn't really make bad movies.
No, that's right.
So he's reshooting this because he clearly sees problems.
Right.
And I think he's going to continue to do it until it's right.
Until they let him, right.
And I think if that means this movie's going to slip, then it's going to slip.
Right.
And I think it probably sounded like the story wasn't very good if he's having to do reshoots.
Right. But he did everything he could.
Yeah.
We'll know that. So that's good. So wait. So we got the Finn part. I wouldn't touch on that. Phasma we got Snoke.
And Benicio del Toro.
And Benicio del Toro. And didn't necessarily like to see Luke die. I was not happy with that, but that's okay. I don't know what to do.
I would have preferred it if he like slumped over, like exhausted from it and didn't disappear.
Right.
Because the last movie could be whoever gets to him first.
That's true. Right.
And how awesome would that have been?
Yeah.
But now so the question is he dead or has he elevated himself to a new plane?
Well, he's a Force ghost. We know that.
But like, did he die?
I don't know.
Did his consciousness, did he become so one with the Force that now he can just appear wherever?
Right.
Like he's like Doctor Who. He can just poof, here I am. I'm here now.
Yeah, I don't know. So that'll be great.
That would be awesome.
And then there's talk of an Obi-Wan movie with who was that? Who was in it? Ian McGregor.
Yeah.
So he seems to be on board. That would be pretty cool.
He's looking for that Disney money.
He's looking for the Disney money. Yeah, of course.
I mean, the thing that sort of
Fox is looking for the Disney money.
Well, the thing that I think is a bummer for these guys.
Hugh Jackman's looking for the money again.
You think he's going to come back?
If there's an Avengers X-Men crossover, I think he'll be there. At some level.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent.
Yeah.
But I know that while we were out, there was this sort of ties to the next Star Wars being helmed by J.J. Abrams.
Right.
Apparently, Quentin Tarantino brought an amazing R-rated Star Trek script to Abrams, and they've greenlit it, and they're fast-tracking it. And what has me somewhat excited, and I hope they might do it, is Patrick Stewart really wants to be in it. And I'm thinking if there's a way to put Picard in an R-rated Tarantino Star Wars or Star Trek movie.
Well, look, they brought back
Kirk, and they killed him
out of the most ridiculous
that was the worst movie.
position.
The only good part of that movie was crash landing the Enterprise.
Yeah.
That was badass.
Yeah.
That was amazing. But
So they can do it.
I mean, he's not getting any younger, and he was great in Logan. And I gotta feel like, man, if they could, if there's a way to put Jean-Luc Picard back on, J.J. Abrams is going to do it because he has figured out that key to bringing back the sentimental favorites. I mean, just look at what he's done.
Sure. So speaking of old pop culture favorites, so are you watching The X-Files?
I am.
And anything off the beginning here on how you feel about it?
Okay, so I read a bunch of reviews ahead of time,
Yeah.
and I have to agree with them. The first episode was a little flat,
Okay.
but it really, for me, in the second episode, is, man, it hits back to like season 3 or season 4.
Okay.
They've really hit it.
Okay, good.
And compared to season 10, season 11 is like already
Better?
like light years ahead. The only thing I don't really understand is that at the end of season 10, Scully is on a bridge trying to get out of DC. Mulder is dying in the back. She sees a bright light from up above.
Right.
And cut to black. Season 11 opens up. She's in the hospital and he's fine. And now she's having visions, and she's now stating this is what's going to happen. This is how the extermination of the human race is going to happen.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of an alternate universe.
I guess I don't have any need to watch episode 1 then.
No, you do, because
Okay.
there's a lot that goes on.
I need to watch season 10. I need to start there first.
You don't.
I don't. I wouldn't miss a thing if I ignored it, which is okay with me.
It's all over the place.
Okay.
I wanted to like it. It's not my favorite.
Okay.
It's a lot like 8 or 9. It just wasn't there. But they did some good stuff in this.
Kind of like the new Ghostbusters.
Which isn't there.
Okay.
All
right. That's a good segment.
There's so much more to talk about. We'll get into, what do you want to do next?
I want to talk about Christopher Nolan collection, which will segue right into Dunkirk.
Okay.
So that's a good one right there.
Sounds good.
Communities Digital News, built by the writers and editors that deliver the news 24 hours a day. Visit comdiginews.com. That's COMMDIGI news.com. And support the next evolution in news.
Idea then.
I know.
I have no idea.
Ever.
I'm done.
No? Okay.
So, I got a chance to look now because I'm a big Batman fan.
Uh-huh.
Christopher Nolan collection was released on 4K UHD, and Mr. Nolan supposedly supervised most of the 4K transfers. Now, this guy loves film. So what he does is he mixes IMAX and traditional 35. So you got that 65 millimeter IMAX.
Oh, yeah.
And from what I read, it's more like a 6K that he had actually downgrade to a 4K.
Yep.
But he did supervise the Dark Knight trilogy for sure. And I don't have to get you started on that because that's like 3 of your favorite films, right?
Listen, Batman Begins is a solid movie.
It is.
But The Dark Knight, I don't even know what to say about that movie. That's like Goodfellas. That's like The Godfather. I mean, that is a gangster movie.
It is the best superhero-fueled crime drama I have ever seen.
But take the superhero out of it.
Right. Oh, I agree.
Assume that it was just not in Batman's costume.
Yep.
And you had a deranged guy who dressed up like the Joker and ran around.
Yep.
That is an amazing film. Like, the performances in that are phenomenal. Everyone in it. The only thing that ruins that movie is the fact that what's her name? The girl who played his best friend / love interest, and the first one, who was Tom Cruise's ex-wife.
Yeah.
She bailed out, and it's Maggie Gyllenhaal for the next two.
Which is weird.
That is the only thing that ruins it.
The continuity.
But I mean, I know people are mixed on the third one. That third one is a great movie.
I liked
the
it.
tension, the fact that at any moment they think that they're all going to be blown to smithereens. I mean, it's great. It's great.
My only rub with the third movie when I first saw it was I couldn't understand what the hell Bane was saying.
And you said,
the sound mix helps tremendously in this.
Well,
so you can now hear what he's saying. Suffice to report, this is a 7-film collection. This guy really loves the craftsmanship and work of making a film. So what you get is some gorgeous stuff. You get Interstellar, you also get Inception, and you get kind of an odd one, The Prestige, but very good. It's Hugh Jackman and Kristen Bale as two magicians in Victorian London.
That's such a good movie.
And, of course, Dunkirk. But the interesting thing about the set is you get the 7 4K discs, and then you get the Blu-ray movies, which are not really remastered, and then you get the special features, most of them, for the movies. So that's 21 discs total.
But they didn't put in Memento.
They didn't put in Memento or Insomnia.
Which were both highly rated movies,
Sure.
which is
interesting.
Sort of strange.
My guess had been there was a studio problem because these films in the set are from Walt Disney Studios, Paramount, and Warner Brothers. But
yeah, who did Dunkirk? Was that?
I think that's Warner Brothers. So
which one did he do that wasn't? I thought that they've all been Warner Brothers.
Prestige was Walt Disney Studios. It
okay,
was,
but then all the Dark Knight was Warner Brothers,
and Interstellar
obviously.
was Paramount.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Anyway, I won't keep gushing about it, but the 4K transfers are just gorgeous.
Okay, and I want to talk about Dunkirk for a second when you're talking about the visuals of it.
Yeah.
The Blu-ray looked like it was pre-processed with HDR.
Really?
Watching
That
it on
good?
my older LCD TV, or not LCD, but LED.
Yeah.
It looked beautiful.
Amazing.
It looked
You
beautiful.
can see it in 4K.
I mean, like, vibrant colors. I mean, did they do something special with the Blu-ray?
Well, maybe he mastered it also. I don't know.
I don't know, but I mean, the color was just. It says Ultra HD Blu-ray, but not. Oh yeah, I guess maybe it's a different version of Blu-ray.
No.
I don't think so. I don't know. I've never seen the Blu-ray look that good on it. Obviously, I don't know if you paid attention, but I could definitely see when they were switching to the IMAX sequences because you'd get the black bars.
Of course. I love the way he does.
I know.
People really don't. Some audiences don't like the way that happens for home entertainment. I think it's spectacular.
Let's go back to the Dark Knight for a second and that opening scene where they're coming in off the zip
with
line.
the Joker and his stuff. Oh.
Come on. When I saw that in an IMAX theater and I almost vomited because it was so crazy.
And Nolan loves practical effects, so he goes out of his way to do this stuff real.
So in Dunkirk, did you watch there was like one of the things that I watched, which was it was like a little featurette with 4 of the young guys, the 4 main guys, and the guy who is the fighter pilot who ditches in the water.
Okay.
He talked about how when he was up flying around, that Nolan had strapped an IMAX camera to the wing of his fighter.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, that's also got to be a real
It's
bear
a really
to fly.
heavy
Well,
camera.
yeah, because you've got like a lot of weight on one side. So how do you compensate for that? But
there's a featurette on that in there, right? Where they just talk about how they took IMAX and kind of redeveloped the camera system.
He is in love
to fit.
He is in love with IMAX, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I wish more films would shoot. I wish in some ways he would shoot natively in IMAX. Just shoot the whole thing in IMAX.
Right.
And, but then again, he loses that 35 millimeter quality.
Well, also in theaters, not every theater is equipped to handle IMAX.
No
theaters are.
But they just black bar it, right?
Yeah. But what happens to his vision if you're black barring his IMAX effort? Changes it, right?
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Because now you're not the 178, you're the 239.
All right. Well,
ratio.
let's get into this. Let's get into Dunkirk. First
Go
of
ahead.
all,
You talk.
What'd you think about it?
It's my big comment on the movie. I love the movie a lot, but it was subdued emotionally.
Yes.
So when I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, why was that? And the reason is because British people are not so emotional. It's the stiff upper lip experience. You know what I mean? They got through World War II and they survived all this stuff. They were focused and not emotional.
And it's the same thing with, there's a lot of focus on this one private boat that's going to Dunkirk, and something happens to one of the characters, the young boy.
Well, there's a guy
Boyega.
they pick up,
Yes.
Cillian Murphy, the Scarecrow,
Yes.
who's great in the movie.
So there were 3 Dark Knight references. Name them. Who are the actors? 3 actors who were in the Dark Knight
in Dunkirk,
and that were in Dunkirk.
So I got Cillian right.
You got Cillian,
What else?
Tom Hardy,
Oh, of course, Tom Hardy's the pilot,
and Mike O'Kane. He's talking to Tom Hardy.
Are you kidding
He's
me?
the commander. Yeah, you
I
never
didn't know
hear
that.
him. You never see him, but you hear him, and he's the voice. He's like the squad
Got
commander.
it. How about the dogfights? I thought
Awesome.
that was the best I think I might have ever seen.
It's not like Top Gun or anything.
No.
But I mean, they actually took these planes and flew them around under the actors and dropped stuff from them.
Right.
How crazy is that?
I thought they were so well shot. It was gorgeous.
It was shot at Dunkirk Beach.
Yeah, it was shot on location.
Unbelievable.
They rebuilt that entire barrier to look like it did 1940 whatever.
Yep. And there was a comment about how he wanted young actors, people in their late teens, early 20s, who were actually fighting this war, which is why everyone is so young.
Right.
And there's 400,000 people on the beach. They said they had something like 13,000 extras, which obviously they had to use some CGI to manipulate, and add more to them.
Right.
That's a lot of extras, and they're all dressed.
Right.
That's 13.
And there's a featurette on the costuming, which is incredible.
I mean, the best part is the lack of dialogue, where you just sit there and you're just kind of taking it all in.
Right.
And
the best part is it's real.
Yes.
It's history.
And it's pretty damn accurate from all accounts.
Now, the characters are reimagined.
Well,
but
of course.
What happened was not.
No, I mean...
And that the Germans were stupid enough to actually let them get away.
Well, the Germans didn't think that there was anything going on at Dunkirk to really send their full might to it. If they had, then that would have been the end of the war.
Yeah, but they stopped their tanks outside of Dunkirk waiting for their soldiers to catch up. If they had simply blown into Dunkirk, it would have been over.
Yep.
It's a great movie.
I mean, it's beautifully shot. It's not... I mean, the only actor outside of Tom Hardy and Kenneth Branagh and Cillian Murphy is Harry Styles from One Direction.
Right.
He's the only one. I mean, the rest of them are kind of...
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, I knew who he was. I didn't think he ruined anything.
No.
I think what was worse was Ed Sheeran in Game of Thrones. That was stupid. He at least fit into it.
Right.
He looked...
And frankly, I don't know enough about that new hip music, so I didn't even know it was him. I just thought it was great.
I mean, it was fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care at all. I didn't have a problem with it. Branagh is amazing in it.
I thought the scene where they're stuck at the bottom of that boat and there's gunfire coming through
That's
the boat.
intense. That was
really amazing.
And then the only thing that was I'm still trying to wrap my head around it was Hardy lands on the beach
and he surrenders.
He burns his plane, and then he's captured, and you never know what happens to him.
Right.
Which is so typical Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really liked the movie a lot. I think it's
and it's PG-13.
Yeah.
So he's going to allow younger people to see what's going on.
Yeah, my kid's really into World War II.
That could have easily been an R-rated movie. It would have taken just a couple of blown-off heads or anything like that when they're getting strafed to change it.
But I don't think it could have, because the thing is like there wasn't really a big beach battle. You know what I mean? I mean, they were constantly dropping bombs on
I'm talking
boats.
about the fighter pilots going down. I'm talking about the guys in the water burning alive.
Yeah.
That could have been more grotesque.
Yeah.
They could have easily pulled an R on this if they wanted to.
It is a pretty incredible story.
It is.
And it was shot so well. I mean, just colorful when, like in that very first scene where they're kind of walking through the outskirts of the city and all the buildings.
Where there's like a group of soldiers and they eventually pick off all the soldiers and there's only one left.
And it's just him.
Yeah.
And then after he gets into the French barricades and then he's walking through the city and he starts running, you have these houses that are yellow and red, very bright, and then he walks down to the beach.
Yeah.
And then it's just solid one gray color. Even the foam on the beach.
Oh yeah.
Was really
well done.
Just so cool.
Best foam in the business.
Yeah. That guy wins foam
of the year
Foam
award.
of the Year award. Yep.
Okay. A+? A?
Yeah. I mean, it's not Dark Knight.
No.
I'll give it an A. Dark Knight's an A+.
A+.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, come on. I mean, it's good work. Okay. We got one more thing to do after we come back. Right? Yeah, I think we do.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks.
Communities Digital News, built by the writers and editors that deliver the news 24 hours a day. Visit comdiginews.com. That's COMMDIGI news.com. And support the next evolution in news.
I watched American Made, Tom Cruise's movie.
So I did too over the holidays.
And
my first thing I want to say about that is that actor, the actual character itself, how lucky to get Tom Cruise to play him, because he was no looker.
Well, I mean,
he's dead, but he was no looker.
I'm trying to think, how many movies has Tom Cruise died in? Very few.
Very few.
Very few.
Very few. So few that I didn't expect it to happen in this one.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a success story and the guy was going to end up.
How crazy of a story is that, though? How crazy is that?
The fact that it's true at all makes me very nervous about lots of different things in the geopolitical sphere.
In our government.
Yeah.
I really liked this movie a lot. It was a little long, but I liked it.
I liked everything about it. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. He was great at it.
And he's kind of a bad guy in this movie, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But he digs his own hole.
I really wish he would do the Les Grossman movie.
I don't even know what that is.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh.
I mean, he created that character.
Right.
So put a movie out, man. I'd watch that in a second. He wants to repair his image, because I'm kind of growing old of the Mission Impossible franchise.
Well, that'll be one more, right? They're shooting it now.
They're shooting it now.
The other thing about Tom Cruise, the guy never ages unless he wants to. So Jack Reacher, I thought when I saw it, I went, oh, this guy's done. He's old. He got old. And then I see him in this movie, and
young.
It's the same 30-year-old guy.
You know what I watched? After I watched that, I watched, they call it Live, Die, and Repeat.
Yes.
But that's not really the name of it.
Great movie.
And
when's that sequel coming out? Soon, right?
No, because I think she's finishing Mary Poppins.
Oh, so they got to wait for her?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
How the hell can they do a sequel to that movie? But apparently Cruise went on record as saying the script is better than the first one.
No.
I'm like, what, is there going to be an even bigger thing? And because the
thing I remember about that movie, American Made, was the extras. And I don't know if you watched any of the extras.
Yep.
But the director and Tom interview one another. And these guys are having like frat party fun, just talking to each other about the movie and ribbing each other. I found that to be the coolest thing.
I think if he has a mutual respect for you, I think
best buddies.
You can have a good time with him.
Yeah.
I think if you don't get him,
right,
you're probably not so much.
Right. That was great. And he's worked with this director before on something. I don't know what it was.
And if you'll notice, I mean, look at the last few Mission Impossibles, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Ving Rhames is gone for a while, but he's back, and Renner keeps coming back. He likes working with these people.
Yeah.
He has a genuine rapport with them. Simon Pegg.
Oh, wait. I'm starting to remember this movie, and I'm sitting here. Isn't there a really cool scene in like an airplane?
I mean, most of it's in an
No.
airplane.
Is there like a G? Or is this a different movie?
What do you mean? Like
the plane loses altitude or something?
No, he's flying. He's the commercial pilot, and everybody's asleep on the plane. And he takes it out of autopilot, and he shakes everybody awake and drops the oxygen mask.
Which is awesome.
Which is hilarious. Because you know how many pilots have probably wanted to do that?
Yep.
I thought it was a really good movie. I really did. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was more than I expected it was going to be.
Agreed.
And then apparently we're going to have to try to get a hold of Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, since it's now...
Best movie ever? Not ever.
I mean, it's not terrible. It's like number 1 4 weeks in a row.
And The Rock, right?
I mean, that dude can
He's
do no
almost
wrong.
all gold, right?
Well,
except for Baywatch.
Kevin Hart and The Rock together.
Yeah.
Gold.
Jack Black? Did you see the movie?
No.
Really?
No.
Your kids didn't drag you to that movie?
Nope.
Could care less?
No.
Okay.
But Star Wars was more important.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, yeah.
They got to pick one.
If they're going to watch a movie in the theater on a big screen with a bag of popcorn,
right,
it's going to be
Gotta
Star
be
Wars.
Bigger.
And they're already
bigger.
But they're already salivating over Jurassic World, The Fallen Kingdom.
Okay. What about Black Panther? Could care less?
Nah, not really. They're not really into Marvel that much. They like Guardians.
Right.
But I don't think... I think if I let them watch the Avengers, it would be too much going on. Okay. And I think that they would just get confused or overstimulated.
Right.
I, on the other hand, am ready for the Avengers. But now they're saying they may push it back. And
Wait. It's coming out this year,
they're
isn't it?
saying the Black Widow movie might come out before it does.
What are you talking about? Isn't there an Avengers movie coming out this year?
Infinity Wars is in 2019.
There's no Avengers movie this year?
No, I think it's next year. 2019.
Really?
They're shooting Black Widow movie right now, and they're saying it might come out before Avengers.
And Deadpool 2
is this year, and it got moved up to like June 1st.
Okay.
So
the next
weeks.
superhero film is Black Panther.
Right, and they moved Deadpool up because they didn't want to go against Han Solo. Okay. Because now it's Disney versus Disney.
That's right.
Which is weird. I don't
Disney will own it all.
I don't understand how Disney was able to buy 20th Century Fox.
I don't either.
That's
that
a
makes
monopoly.
No sense.
It's a monopoly.
It is a monopoly.
How did no one step in and say, no, you can't do that?
They own all the good superhero films now.
What do they do when they go buy Warner Brothers and eventually they have everything?
Then we'll see some great DC Comics movies. That'll be the first thing that'll happen.
You're going to see DC merge with Marvel in a way you've never imagined.
So, this is old news, but my kids saw Justice League and couldn't have been more disappointed. I don't even know if we talked about this. I didn't even waste my time.
Mm-mm.
I'll watch it when I get the disc or the code or whatever I get, but I'm not going to... I can't believe it.
It's so weird because Wonder Woman is an amazing movie.
Right.
And it's like you've got a character.
Is it just Zack Snyder can't write a movie anymore?
I feel like his only movie that I felt was genre-defying was 300.
300. Fantastic movie.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
And ever since then, I'm not really terribly impressed. Because, I mean, I don't know who's directing Batman. I'm also, again, it's like getting back to the Christopher Nolan thing. It's hard for me to watch a Batman movie that he's not helming.
Oh, yeah.
Because they just suck in comparison.
This guy hit the benchmark, period. He's the gold standard.
He was involved in like the design of the Batmobile and all that stuff. He designed these things. He designed the spacecraft for Interstellar.
Yep.
And it's like, then you got Ben Affleck, who doesn't really care what he's doing. He's
right.
I don't know what his deal is, but I think anybody would, die to be
a
Batman.
Right.
They should have just put Joseph Gordon-Levitt in and kept it going.
He was great in that movie, man. Okay. enough.
There's a lot of frustration with DC these days. So I don't know. Watching any good TV?
Shameless. Have you ever watched Shameless?
No, but it's
I don't know why.
William H. Macy, right?
Here's the thing about Shameless. I'm from Chicago, and this show is based in the south side of Chicago. I'm a north sider, but the thing about Chicago is there's this beer called Old Style, and this beer is all over the show. So every time I see it, I start getting laughing. But this show is amazing. I can't believe how great this Macy dude is. I know he's a great actor, but wow.
Have you watched Black Mirror at all?
No, my son lives for it.
I don't know anything about it. I haven't watched it yet.
It's British sci-fi.
Okay.
So
and who are you picking for the Super Bowl? Who's going to show up in the Super Bowl?
Well, I think it's going to be the Vikings and the Patriots.
I think the Patriots are going to beat Jacksonville after the fact they beat the Steelers.
Well, they're going up to Foxborough, right?
Yep.
And I think they can do it. And really, Jacksonville just barely beat the Steelers.
I mean, who wins the Super Bowl? New England?
I think it could be New England again.
The Vikings are pretty good.
They are. But they almost lost. They almost blew a 17-point lead.
I know.
So
New England, on the other hand, boy, I felt bad for Tennessee.
Yeah,
it was ugly.
Squashed.
Okay, well, you got your little sports fix. You got
a
your
sports
TV.
fix in this. That was bonus content.
Yep. Hey, man.
We may even do this 2 weeks in a row.
We might, might be Emmy Award winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks. Enjoy the polka music.
Yes, and stay warm out there.
Oh man.